Welcome back, YouTubers, to your weekly dose of Raw review with us, the British Fist.
Ka-ching.
I am Mr. Parkin, again wearing my England shirt especially for today, and this man here, it's NJ.
What's up?
What's up, NJ? What's up to you guys out there? Of course, you know what to do. Subscribe up above, like this video if you will, and comment your thoughts on this week's Raw down in that comment section below.
And make sure you contact us in the links in the description box below.
Yes, indeedly doodly. Right, so shall we get off on this Raw, because I actually enjoyed this Raw.
Let's go
For
for
the
it.
first time in about 4 weeks, I think. Alright then. First thing we got was the announcement of the main event, Punk vs Del Rio for tonight, with the Hell in a Cell hanging above the ring. I thought that was a good way to start the show, getting us our main event sorted so the opening segment didn't have to announce it.
True, it gave us the main event, which of course should be the start of the match, start of the show, just so it gives us what's coming up.
And the Hell in a Cell hanging above the ring helps to hype the pay-per-view, so...
It did. Good thing for that.
Who did we open with again this week, NJ?
It started with Triple H!
The COO, brother. What did he come out and say? Basically explained why Miz and Truth were fired, which we kind of needed after last week, because we were a little bit confused by it. And he came out and said that they were fired because their actions are night champions. We got a nice little video package. I thought that was good. I thought that needed explaining, didn't it?
It did. He explained it well. The video package showed how bad Miz and Truth were with Triple H in this business, so it was a good reason to part.
And he says that Mark Henry's going to be fined for putting his hands on JR and King. I somehow think Mark Henry might have something to say about that. And he basically says that no man is bigger than the WWE, and he will always do what is right for the WWE. So it's kind of like the typical COO thing to do, but at least he explained what happened last week, which is what we kind of needed him to do, really, wasn't it?
It was. He had to come clean and explain what's happened the last couple of weeks, especially last week. So yeah, good.
But then we get this little sequence where Dolph Ziggler, Cody Rhodes, and Christian comes out, sort of confronting Triple H. Now I kind of like this because you've got Rhodes, your Intercontinental Champion, and Ziggler, US Champion, sort of confronting Triple H about what they're going to do, what he's going to do for them, which I thought was quite good, as it gave them opening segment exposure. I liked it. I thought that was good. They kind of needed that, I guess.
Again, by them coming out to Triple H, give them all a semi kind of push to something that could be good for them in the future.
Even though Christian wants to file a lawsuit against Triple H.
And one more man.
The WWE. Well, what we got from this segment, though, was we got Hell in a Cell, Christian versus Sheamus. That was made by Triple H. SmackDown is going to be Orton versus Christian, so good hype for SmackDown. And we made 3 matches for Raw. Yes, 3 matches for this week's Raw. Cena versus Christian, Ziggler versus Ryder for the US title, and in the next section, we're going to be having Cody Rhodes in a 10-man battle royal for the IC Championship. That was a good main event. It was a good opening segment. It gave us our matches, didn't it? Which was good.
It was. I agree, because obviously, yes, we need matches made for the pay-per-view, which is obviously this week. But giving a good build to Raw and SmackDown has definitely got us thinking, all these could be good matches to see for these wrestlers.
And it does what SmackDown doesn't do, and that is give these matches some fucking meaning as to why they're actually going on. So good opening segment. I enjoyed this opening segment, even though I thought it went on a little bit too long, but I guess it needed to because of the interferences, so I really didn't have any problems with it.
It cancelled each person's problems down and gave us this next match.
Yes, okay then. So we have the 10-man Battle Royal for the Intercontinental Championship. We have guys like Daniel Bryan, Wade Barrett in there, jobbing their asses off. But who got entrances?
We had Sin Cara.
Of course.
And then the one following Sin Cara was... still in mind.
Sheamus.
Sheamus
fella. And who got eliminated first?
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, all the WWE superstars seem to gang up on him. I don't know why, but we also had the imposter Sin Cara come out and have a little sort of thing with Sin Cara. And then Rhodes eliminates DiBiase, kind of showing their feud. So that's 2 feuds there. And then we have Christian distracting Sheamus so that Cody Rhodes can get the win. I'm glad Cody Rhodes won the match because he kind of needed to, didn't he? Let's face it.
He does, because obviously he's the one who said he's going to bring meaning to the IC Championship. So for him to go in a big battle royal, which obviously his championships, depending on him winning, winning this match has actually helped him to hopefully do a bit more with the IC Championship.
Yeah, and also Christian distracted Sheamus, which furthers their storyline along the road, I guess. And we even saw Christian get one up on Sheamus, which was good. I really did enjoy this segment. I felt it could have got a little bit more time, though, considering there were 10 guys in there. I also had a bit of a problem with they were doing quite a lot in one segment. It was hard to follow sometimes, but the entertainment of the match was good. So I'm going to say this is a good segment overall.
I give it a good segment. I really enjoyed it. Yes, it was short, but it did everything it should do.
I really wish, though, like, some of these guys would get their own segment, but I guess this is a good way of combining everything into one. And it was entertaining.
Very good.
Okay, then. So what do we get next, NJ?
Okay, the next match we got, which I'm thinking was good, we had Kelly and her lover at the minute, Eve Torres, versus Divas of Doom.
Yes, and although, to be honest, we have seen this match a couple of times now, haven't we? But it's I guess a good way to go into a pay-per-view. We know at the end of the night we found out that Kelly was going to face Beth Phoenix again. Let's hope Beth Phoenix fucking wins this time. This tag match was very short and sweet, 3.5 minutes. Beth Phoenix gets the win on Kelly. Looks strong. You know,
what I'm going to say about this is that obviously we've had Beth Phoenix facing Kelly twice at pay-per-views now, and she loses both of them. But when it comes to a Raw show, she loses, which I think is pretty bad indeed.
Yeah, but I mean,
lose a Raw match.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it was good hype for the pay-per-view in the fact that you have Beth looking strong, the Divas of Doom looking strong against the Divas, which was the Mold Divas, which I kind of liked, which I like. Why I like this segment.
I like it too. It's just obviously why Kelly lost at a pay-per-view.
Oh well, guess we have to accept
that. Third time.
Yeah, let's hope Beth Phoenix wins this. Third time lucky, for Beth Phoenix. She's not in the running town where she's over. But oh well. Next segment, we got Mark Henry versus Carly, or what we thought it would be, until Mark Henry decided that he doesn't want to have a match. He just wants to beat up Carly. Very effective segment this, for making Henry look strong. Because you have a big guy like Carly in there, who, if a guy like Mark Henry's going to beat up, is going to make him look strong because he's a big guy.
And the good thing about this is obviously we've seen Mark Henry do different things from week up to week. Before he was champion and now he's champion, so different things. He's attacked wrestlers, he's attacked announcers, he's attacked people.
Sound guys.
So he's done everything. So for him now to not, before the match even begins, to take up Carly with his belt, it was just so different, and it was great because then he went on mic and announced his dominance. It was just great.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Henry looking strong again. It's a good way of doing it to keep him look strong going into the Hell in a Cell match he's going to have with Randy Orton. So there we go. A short but effective segment, in our opinion.
It was very effective.
All right, and our main event, we had John Cena versus Christian, and the cell was kind of lowered for this bit, wasn't it? Because we got Cena on the mic, typing up the main event, talking about Hell in a Cell. I did think this kind of was needed, especially with the lack of build, even though it did last a long time, but it was still needed, I feel, for the pay-per-view itself.
I would prefer someone else talking about it. Maybe made who we know is great on mic, CM Punk talk about this big match and how he feels about it, but Cena.
Yeah, but you have Cena, who's the top guy in WWE, talking about it, so it kind of makes sense him doing it. I know you don't like him, but I'm just looking at this generally.
I would prefer Punk.
Well, so would I, but there we go. We basically get Del Rio and Punk on commentary, which again is good because they're combining all these people in one segment, and we got this segment, these few people twice tonight, which is good for the main event of the pay-per-view, I guess.
And the thing about this now is that having these two on mic, obviously they were going to have their back and forward talk about the pay-per-view and about seeing it in this match. It was good to have them there.
Punk even had his jacket on, didn't he, from his old commentary days. My God, that brought back the memories.
It did indeed.
The match for Christian, John Cena, Christian went on for about 3.5 minutes. Basically, what happened is Del Rio hit Punk with a cheap shot on the announcer's table, and the match ended in a DQ after Del Rio gets a cheap shot in Cena in the ring. So in my opinion, the match didn't end clean, which is good. It's a good way of hyping up Del Rio as a strong cheap shot heel, I guess. So I actually really like this segment, and I even got mic time after the segment announcing, that they're all going to go to hell.
The thing I liked about this is, one, of course, Cena didn't get a clean win, and number two, it's made Del Rio look strong over Cena, as well as Punk. He attacked Punk at the announce table and Cena in the ring. I think this was effective for Del Rio.
This was definitely effective, not just for the main event at Hell in a Cell, but also the main event tonight, because we know we got Del Rio versus Punk. So you saw interaction between them, and you saw interaction between all three, which is why I thought this was a very effective segment.
That was a very good segment.
Yes. Next we had Ryder versus Ziggler for the US title. I had a nice little video package, I guess, showing how this match happened. The match itself got 2 minutes. Dolph Ziggler got helped by Shaq Swagger. Looks like they're buddies now.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed in that because obviously when I looked at that, I thought, there could be a possible feud there. We could be having one of them turning face. So for Swagger to actually get involved and actually help Ziggler pick up the win, it kind of threw that out the window, but the next bit explains why.
But at least Zack Ryder lost. That's why I like this segment. 2 minutes. He wasn't built to win this US Championship, so as far as I'm concerned, I'm glad that Ziggler won.
Yeah, I give it that. But the next part is the part that actually explains why Swagger actually helped Ziggler to win.
Teddy Long comes out and says that Vicky Guerrero needs to find a 6th person for a 6-person tag match. So Teddy Long's basically doing what he does most weeks on SmackDown and makes a tag team match, fella. It's just, Ryder and Airboom versus Ziggler and Swagger and a mystery opponent, which we will mention during this next segment. What was this match like, MJ?
Again, you had the heels looking quite strong in this. Good spots from the face team, I give. They had Zack Ryder having his part in the match and looking good for some apparent reason.
Who came in?
But then the sick tag team partner was Mason Ryan.
Yes, and he was originally recruited by Vicky Guerrero. But what did he do, NJ, that made this segment so awesome?
As soon as Swagger tagged him in, he went to attack. He turned around and hit him down.
In turning babyface in the process. Now, we knew he was on Superstars as a babyface. In my opinion, this is a smart move by WWE making babyface. He does have that Batista kind of look. Hopefully, they'll actually do something this time rather than just, not do anything like they did Nexus.
No, the good thing is he dominated the short period of time he was in the match and just left the match for Ryder to pick up the win.
Yes, Zack Ryder picked up the win. I don't even mind Zack Ryder picked up the win because of this, so I guess this was a decent match. I'm a bit unsure as to what's happening with the US title now. I guess that probably won't be at the pay-per-view. But I guess all in all, it was a decent match. Even though I don't like the fact that Airboom didn't get their own tag team segment, I was still entertained by it. It got 6 minutes. So
yes, it got good length because obviously it wasn't the biggest matches, but obviously with Mason Ryan return and things that were going on in this match, the length was pretty good. For
Mason Ryan return just did that for me, that segment.
Yeah, because obviously we didn't know how the WWE were going to bring him back, when they were going to bring him back. So bringing him back as maybe a temporary heel, which he was, then turned to show which he was going to be a babyface. It did Mason Ryan's future now. So good.
Please excuse my snarkiness here, NJ, and I think people will be a bit moaning a bit here, but I usually thought that in tag team matches like this, the heels were supposed to be getting one up on the faces, and it kind of worked the other way around. That's the only problem I have. But I enjoyed this segment, so I'm not going to say any more about it.
No,
just saying, just wanted to say that one thing. We got 4 matches announced for the pay-per-view. The Triple Threat Hell in a Cell, Cena, Orton versus Mark Henry, Beth Phoenix versus Kelly Kelly was announced tonight, and Sheamus versus Mark Henry was announced tonight. I think it's important that they, on the Going show, they do sort of hammer that home. They've only got 4 matches. They need to make some more on SmackDown, though, in my opinion. Maybe even some title matches. That's the only problem I have with tonight.
Well, I still got one night left, so hope they'll announce them then.
That was the one problem I had with the show. There's no IC or no US title announcement, but hopefully we'll probably get it. Maybe even some matches in there, like maybe Sin Cara versus Sin Cara. Who knows?
Yeah, too soon, maybe.
No.
Maybe, yeah.
We got this weird little segment with Otunga as well, didn't we? Sort of talking to Rhodes, Ziggler, Christian, Vicky. Sort of talking about how under the law they're under bad working conditions. That was a bit weird, wasn't it? Maybe they're going to form some kind of stable.
Yeah, it's a bit weird what they're doing with Otunga now. 1 minute he's with Michael McKinnon making a tag team, getting involved with Lawler. Next minute he's doing some kind of management role.
At least we know he's a graduate of Harvard with law. Kind of, which was kind of weird. But should we go to the main event?
Let's go to the main event.
The main event was CM Punk versus Alberto Rio, of course, pre-announced before in the night. Cena was on commentary, so I guess you got them 3 interacting again in the same segment, which I liked. You had that twice throughout the night, which really hammers down that main event feel this match is obviously going to get in the pay-per-view.
True, and the thing about this match is, of course, you had them both looking equally strong, and as the match goes on, they give CM Punk the finish.
Yeah, it was clean. I really didn't want this match to end clean because these 2 guys are going to be the main event of the pay-per-view. And that was the one problem I was having with this match as the main event. I didn't want it to end clean because you're sort of telegraphing that Punk is better than Del Rio. And we don't want to see that. We want to see them all equally available to win that match, don't we?
Even though Punk finished with that kick to the head and he got the 1, 2, 3, it did not finish there.
No.
It made the continuous making Del Rio look strong actually kicked in then.
Yes, the Hell in a Cell, what happens after the match? The Hell in a Cell lowers, and then Punk, Cena, Ricardo Rodriguez, and Alberto Del Rio are in the Hell in a Cell. Punk and Cena attack Ricardo Rodriguez, and at the time me and Angie were like, but then Punk and Cena attack each other, and then Alberto Del Rio comes in and hits everyone with the chair. And I love the way they booked this, because they booked him as a strong heel. This is exactly how they should have booked him with the title, wasn't it?
Thing is, he should not have lost the title, but the way they're trying to rebuild him back up again to look strong, the way they did this, taking down the biggest dog in the WWE, John Cena, and the other dog, CM Punk, it was just awesome. They stayed down, they took their bumps, it was just good for them. So
you end the night with Del Rio on top, which is essentially what we wanted, wasn't it? On our little checklist that we did before. Yeah. This is what we wanted.
it finished the go-home show pretty well. It got Del Rio looking like he's got a chance of winning again. So I say this was very effective.
The very effective main event. Overall thoughts on this show, NJ? I was very entertained by this show.
Again, I go into Raw thinking, okay, you've got 1 week left going for your pay-per-view. Please make it count. And I'm going to say this. From the opener onwards, I thought everything's happening right. They're building it up. They're giving us feeling. They're giving us wanting to watch SmackDown as well as the pay-per-view. So I think it was a really effective Raw. Yeah, it was a very effective Raw. It was very entertaining. That was the main thing, because these last couple of Raws have been really boring for us, haven't they? Yeah.
So for this Raw to be very entertaining was good for us. I thought as a Raw, as an entertainment, it was very entertaining. Like I said, build to the pay-per-view I thought was good, not great, but still good. We got 4 matches there. A couple of the segments didn't have much to do with the pay-per-view, but a lot of the segments were still very effective in what they did in continuing storylines and feuds going into the pay-per-view too. So I guess I was really entertained with this Raw. I thought it was a decent to good go-home show. Let's just hope SmackDown can do the same. I'm going to give this a very, very good B+.
Well, the fact that obviously it all flowed through.
Yes.
There weren't much backstage segments. They concentrated on the wrestling and the build. I think it was definitely effective. So I'm going to give it a strong B+.
Strong B+ from the British Fist.
That's it.
Right, now you've heard our thoughts on Raw. What are your thoughts on Raw out there, guys? Did you like the Raw? Did you dislike it? Was there anything in particular you liked or disliked? Get your thoughts in that comment section down below.
And guys, you've heard these words from your host, the British Fist. You can contact us in the link in the description box below. I've repeated that again.
Box below.
Now I'll say this. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. And you've heard from Mr. Parkin and me, NJ. What's up? And I've got one word. Goodbye.